Okay, so here's the second update here, and we're going to talk a little bit about Planned Parenthood. Now, all of these lefty losers that you see coming on here and complaining about the Sydney Sweeney jeans commercial and what she's talking about and how she looks, and they're calling it Nazi propagandist and eugenics. I'm actually going to tell you what eugenics really are. I'm going to tell you about Planned Parenthood. And the reason I'm going to tell you about Planned Parenthood is all of these lefty purple-haired cows, they all support Planned Parenthood 100%. They're all, it's women's choice, my body, my choice. I should be able to do whatever I want. Great. Let me walk you through a little bit of what you're pushing for, just so we're clear. Eugenics, first, let's go over essentially the definition of eugenics. Is a set of largely discredited beliefs. It's the course of beliefs exist, and it has been tried. The Nazis actually got the idea of eugenics from us, not the other way around. Eugenics is a set of largely discredited beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of a human population. Historically, eugenicists have attempted to alter the frequency of various human phenotypes by inhibiting the fertility of those considered inferior or promoting that of those considered superior. The contemporary history of eugenics began in the late 19th century when a popular eugenics movement emerged in the United Kingdom and then spread to many countries, including the United States, Canada, Australia, and mostly European countries, Sweden, and then Germany. Historically, the idea of eugenics has been used to argue for a broad array of practices ranging from prenatal care for mothers deemed genetically desirable to the forced sterilization and murder of those deemed unfit. To population geneticists, the term has included the avoidance of inbreeding without altering allele frequencies. For example, British Indian scientist J.B.S. Haldale wrote in 1940 that the motor bus, by breaking up inbred village communities, was a powerful eugenic agent. Debate as to what qualifies as eugenics continues today. Now, we all know it's inbreeding between families is illegal, right? Now you see some of the history of where that thought process came from. It was the inbreeding and mixing genes was getting fucked up, disabled, deformed kids, and they wanted to put a stop to that. You needed to have You needed to mix naturally and have more normalized children than what the mixing of genes was going to do. So all of these ideas come from something else. You think it's a given that there shouldn't be inbreeding that happens, right? You just think, well, somebody said one day this is a bad idea. But no, there's a lot more history to why they make all these decisions, or they wouldn't give a shit, right? Although it originated as a progressive social movement in the 19th century, in the 21st century, the term became closely associated with scientific racism. New liberal eugenics seeks to disassociate itself from the old authoritarian varieties by rejecting coercive state programs in favor of individual parental choice. Eugenic programs include both positive measures, such as encouraging individuals deemed particularly fit to reproduce, and negative measures, such as marriage prohibitions and forced sterilization of people deemed unfit for reproduction. Now, we're going to get to Planned Parenthood after this, and that one of the setups of Planned Parenthood was to participate in the eugenics for multiple races, not just black, Latino, Asian, etc., white as well. Any of those that were deemed, again, impure, less than everybody else. You're encouraged to go do this and get rid of your kid. So what that ends up doing is eliminating your bloodline. It ensures that you and your family don't continue. Right? Years ago, when you go back in history, it was a big deal to everybody that you had a namesake and a lineage. It was important that you took the family name, right? If you had a guy, he continued the family line when the father passed away. That's what such a big push for kings and others to have a son, right? Because the daughter couldn't take the surname of the family, the son could. So you needed an heir to continue on the line so that your family didn't get wiped out of existence, out of history. It continued on and it was spoken about. So, I mean, regardless of whether you think it's antiquated and we didn't need to have that or not, that's where all of that comes from. So in going to a place like Planned Parenthood and getting rid of your kids is ending your bloodline. And in eugenics, if you have an impure bloodline, one that the other group, societal group, decides is impure and doesn't need to continue, this is the best decision moving forward. Eliminate your bloodline so there's no more of you. You shouldn't have happened, and also future ideations of you should not happen either. So let's go to Margaret Sanger. She's the creator of the original Planned Parenthood. She was born September 14th, 1879, and she died 1966. Was an American birth control activist, sex educator, writer, and nurse. She opened the first birth control clinic in the United States, founded Planned Parenthood, and was instrumental in the development of the first birth control pill. Sanger is regarded as a founder and leader of the birth control movement. In the early 1900s, contraceptives, abortion, and even birth control literature were illegal in much of the U.S. Working as a nurse in the slums of New York City, Sanger often treated mothers desperate to avoid conceiving additional children, many of whom resorted to back-alley abortions. Sanger was a first-wave feminist and believed that women should be able to decide if and when they want to have children, leading to her campaign for the legalization of contraceptives. As an adherent of the eugenics movement, she argued that birth control would reduce the number of unfit people and improve the overall health of the human race. You want me to read that again? As an adherent of the eugenics movement, she argued that birth control would reduce the number of unfit people and improve the overall health of the human race. She was also influenced by Malthusian concerns about the detrimental effects of overpopulation. So she was a populationist and a eugenicist. So when you're reading this first part here, and it seems that it was very... she was selfless, and she was trying to help women and get them contraceptives and better, more humane abortion techniques and et cetera, et cetera. She was pushing, because if you're already thinking about this and you're already going towards that direction, chances are you already fit into what they say is you're in the undesirable column. So they are very happy to say, I have a better alternative for you than a back alley abortion or anything else that you're thinking. Come to Planned Parenthood, get this abortion, take this pill, make sure you don't have any kids. We don't want you populating and not only making more kids, but making more of you and your bloodline. We don't want that. That's what eugenicists are saying. And I tried to, I don't think I was able to really successfully do it. Because it was easier said than done on Google. But when you go to where Planned Parenthoods are, okay, obviously this isn't going to do it enough justice. There's a shit ton in the Northeast. And you'll notice in the northern states here and in southern states, you're not seeing a lot of them. Florida, you've got a spattering. North Dakota appears to have nothing. South Dakota appears to have nothing. There could be more updated information, and they do have something. But on this initial map that I did, I'm not seeing it. You're also, and I can't zoom in, but when you look at these, they're all focused in the cities. You don't find Planned Parenthoods in the suburbs of the state. And that's because their focal point is on everybody that's reproducing in the city, having sex in the city. Not like the show. And the Planned Parenthoods are all focused in those areas. Because they're going to say, well, that's where the need most is. That's where the demand is the most, is there. It's also one more step of them trying to curtail the explosion of all of the undesirables that live in that city, right? Keep the population down as best you can. Keep all of these people from successfully reproducing. And women don't realize that some of them don't seem to realize that they're marching themselves right to the guillotine by saying, yes, I believe in a woman's right to choose and Planned Parenthood should exist and my body, my choice and all that. You're advocating for the complete end of your bloodline and your family continuing on in any way. Because anyone that's involved in this eugenics movement, and Bill Gates he's talked about population control. There are too many people. The Rothschilds, they're all involved in this too. They're all eugenicists. They all believe that this world is full of a fair amount of trash as far as equating it to human beings goes. And states rattled by a second earthquake. I got breaking news keeps popping in while I'm doing this shit. A lot of earthquakes. So now we had one in New York. Jersey rattled by a second earthquake just days after one was felt in New York as well. So there's another update there that's unrelated to eugenics. But I mean, you're eliminating yourself and your bloodline, and then you're advocating for how excited you are that you have the option to do this. I mean, it's like shooting yourself in the foot and saying, this is a good thing. So this, and all of these lefties that are calling Sydney Sweeney's commercial and how they're talking in it, Nazism and eugenics are the same people that are defending Planned Parenthood. And I just showed you that Planned Parenthood's roots are all in eugenics. It is all in the elimination of undesirable bloodlines. And the government funds it, and taxpayers are funding it, whether you like it or not. And come on in and erase your bloodline so we don't have to deal with any more of you. And honestly, if you're that stupid and you're a lefty that's pushing for this, go do it. I'm not gonna stand on my soapbox and go, this is horrible. Don't do this, and it's wrong and immoral. And you want to be stupid enough to end your bloodline so you're the only thing that's left? By all means, we already don't want to deal with you. So go for it. But you should be informed that you're an idiot for saying I don't like fascism and Nazism, but I love Planned Parenthood, because Planned Parenthood is eugenics, and it is the elimination of undesirables. Some of these people should wake up and educate themselves on what some of this stuff really is.